Hey folks, it's Ridgar here, how you doing? Welcome back to Farming Simulator 19 here on Boulder Canyon. We have had a minor disaster. Our hired help that was supposed to be spreading fertilizer in the field decided that the best thing to do would be to drive along the side of the wall and flip the tractor on its side. Needless to say, the hired help is no longer with us. No, they are not buried in the wall. That lump over there is not the hired help. There's nothing to see there. Obviously, we just sent them on their way. Anything else would have just not been right. So don't ask any more questions. They won't be coming back. That's it. That's all we need to know. Lessons have been learned. And examples have been made. We should not have this nonsense happen again. But we've now got to do something with this tractor. If we can put it on its right side up, then maybe we'll be alright. And we will be able to rescue the situation. The engine, surprisingly, still actually works. Despite the fact that... Is it going to work like this? Despite the fact that the... Oh, it was thinking about it there. Despite the fact that the engine is on its side at the moment, it still works. And there we go! There we go, we've managed to put it right side up. Now, seeing as this tractor is a beat-up old piece of rubbish anyway, we're barely going to notice that it's just been on its side for 20 minutes. So I personally, I don't think that bit is going to matter in the slightest. I don't think it's going to make any difference to the overall performance of the tractor. And it does still seem to be running just fine. So, unfortunately, these tractors seem to be a bit like a Toyota Hilux. They never, ever stop running. You can do whatever you want to them, and they never cease running. They are indestructible. And I say unfortunately because it is unfortunate. I don't like these tractors, and yet the thing never seems to break down. The thing just seems to keep going. If you don't know what I mean when I'm referring to the Toyota Hilux being completely indestructible, take a few moments of your time and go to YouTube, that strange and weird website that some of you may have heard about, and go and search up Top Gear Toyota Hilux. Alright, that's all you need to put in the search bar. Top Gear Toyota Hilux, and the search bar will do the rest for you. You will be, I hope, pleasantly surprised by what you find therein. It's an interesting view, it really is. It is definitely an interesting thing to watch. I remember, I actually seen that episode when it first went live, and Toyota Hilux second-hand sales, even the new Toyota Hilux benefited a lot from this particular episode. But second-hand ones, the sale of second-hand Toyotas went through the roof in this country after that episode went live. And for good reason. For very, very good reason. So I would strongly recommend, if you can, go and watch that video. It's absolutely fantastic. It is genuinely brilliant. You haven't completed anything at all. Don't lie to me. Or have you? Let's have a look. Let's go and have a look. No, you haven't completed anything. You haven't completed anything at all. Keep going. He's not trying to do it at the moment. You haven't completed anything at all. I press H and he's not liking it. He's not liking it at all. Let's go on a bit further. Still not liking it. I'm going to have to just manually do this one right the way across, because it's not happening, is it? It's absolutely not having it at all. Helper A has completed their task. What about this little bit out here? Right, it will let me do this little bit out here, but it wasn't interested in the rest of it. So, you know what, I'm just going to manually finish this. And, yeah. Right, well, we're done. Excuse me. Oh, no, we're not done. We've still got that bit to do up over there. I forgot about that. So let's head on up over there. Yeah, Top Gear Toyota Hilux. It's definitely worth a watch. It's absolutely brilliant. And I was genuinely surprised, like, what they did to the thing. I'll say no. I'm not going to say anything else. I'm not going to say anything else. You don't need to know anymore. That line along there is from what was fertilized previously, isn't it? That's nothing to do with what's going on now. And so is that bit over... Yeah, that bit over there is also. So we want to go up to this point here. And I'm going to press H on there. And it's going to manually just do this little slice right here. Couple of passes backwards and forwards, and then with manually it's going to the hired help is going to do this bit. I'm going to let the hired help do this bit, and that's it then. Oh no, wait, no, I've still got the bit down the bottom to go and do. I can't do that yet. I've got to wait for a growth stage, and then we also need to do weeds up here if we can. So I'm going to start fast forwarding time now. Gonna go faster and faster with time. That is looking like it's gonna get all of it, so we can leave that one running there. We only need it to go to the first growth stage, or at least we do for doing the fertilizer bit. I'm gonna leave you now. There's a little tiny spot right there that we'll get. Like that, and then there's another little tiny spot over here that we just want to pick up. Like that. And possibly that bit. Yeah, that bit as well. Right, now we're done. We have done all the fertilizing up in this field. And we can head back down here. I've got 1,100 litres of fertilizer left on here. Now, I was told at the end of the last episode that... Ah, look, weeds. Oh, ideal. I was told at the end of the last episode that if I was... Once I've done herbicide spraying, I can then go and do fertilizer immediately afterwards. And it would appear that that was correct. I didn't actually realize you could do that. I just need the rest of those weeds to come across that field over there, and we can get the herbicide sprayer going through. I'm just going to stop that, and I knew there would be bits that would be missing. We knew that would happen, didn't we? Now, do I have to leave it on fast time to get... We left a lot. We left an awful lot across the fields. Okay, I'm going to put that... That's got to stay on 5 times. So I'm going to skip a minute over to you. Because this... Yeah, you we don't want. We want you right here. And I need to go and get the herbicide sprayer, which is over there. And we really have left a lot of stripes on our field over there. That's kind of bad, really. That is kind of bad. So we'll grab you like that. We've got a full 1,300 litres. I don't know if the hired help, if the AI vehicle extension can cope with doing herbicide. I don't know if it can. If it can't, it means we've got to manually drive around the edge of this bad boy and then... go and do the rest ourselves. And then we can have the standard hired help doing it. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring this one up here like this. And I'm going to manually do a piece down here. So I'm just going to mosey on down this way. Like this. Go round... these 2 corners right here, and then we will get the hired help working on this field here. Once I've just kind of done out this little bit. So I want to go up a bit there. That'll probably do on there. And then I want to go over here and just get that little bit there. Take that off. Right the way through there like that. And then that's kind of ready then. I don't think I need to really worry about anything else. So now I want to go like this. And I want to do that one. And we'll go round and round the edge. Does it work with a sprayer? It appears that it might actually work with a sprayer, which is very, very cool. Although it seems to be struggling. No, it's not struggling. It was kind of trying to straighten itself out a little bit. Is it going to be able to get round this corner without getting hung up on that stone. No, definitely not. It's coming in way too tight on there. So let me just turn that one off a minute. And I'll back out round again and we'll manually do that. You probably would be faster if I just manually went round the field and did the whole thing myself. We don't have masses of time to go and do everything. Right, we do actually, we are up against time a little bit. I don't want it to grow any more than it already has. You know, I'm just going to manually do once around the outside edge of the field. And then we'll put the standard hired help doing the rest of it. Just backwards and forwards as normal. We'll start from the top, work our way down. I think it's going to be a lot easier for everybody involved if that's how we do it this time. Rather than worrying about trying to get the AI extension doing this. Because whilst it's good, when you've got jobs like this where it's using up the stuff that's in it, it does tend to get a little bit wasteful when it's trying to do its turnings. And also, it's not always that great, is it? Right, that there are issues that do tend to arise, such as how long it takes to get round a corner and things like that. I'm also going to try and keep that straight going along there, so that, I know it's a little bit of a waste out here, but then it should get all of that side of the field when we come back through. The stone over there, we'll go and deal with that in a minute. Actually, I'm thinking that I might deal with it now if I just move over here and keep this running straight. Bring you down over this way like this, and then that's about where I'm going to be on there. So then I'll come over to this side, and I will start going around the outside edge of the big stone. We'll do one circuit around the outside edge of the big stone. What I'm also thinking is that I might just do the short work right now. Straight up and down, do the short work. And then once I press H with the hired help, that's it. That the hired help will just carry on and do all the rest. And I won't need to worry about it. And it will have also done the short work, so it should only need to do the stuff on the long side. Although that doesn't necessarily... Yeah, it's not necessarily going to work out like that. It doesn't always, does it? It does sometimes, like, have issues. So you can go to there, and then I'm going to bring you down this way like this, just out roughly where it's straight. To about that point, I think. And then I'm going to go here. I'm going to turn that off. We'll just have regular hired help for this job. Go right there and start you working across the field. It's going to take a minute or two just to do this bit right here. Couple of passes. We'll do one pass here, and then so long as it's whether or not it's going to turn in the correct direction. It may not even do that. It may decide that that is just a little bit too much for it to cope with and doesn't want to. I'm also curious if it's going to go right to the edge of the field over here or not. Should do. It seems to at the moment. Now, are you going to go forward and try and turn, or are you going to reverse around the corner? And which way are you going to go? Ah, nicely done. It's going the correct direction. Right, well, we have made some progress. We have got a good start on this. So you're going to go up there, and you're going to meet the stone, and then you're going to head forward. On, off you go. Left a little tiny bit on the edge up here. That I don't care about. That's fine. That's not going to make any difference to anything. And we'll get all the way up to the stone, and it's going to do that once more and head back again. I'm very tempted to just... You know, I'm just going to leave that working now. And I'm going to head down to this one a minute. And keep working around the outside edge of this field. And keep spreading fertilizer around the outside edge of this field. And then once we get back up to the top... Actually, I don't know that I need to fill it up. I think maybe 1,000 litres of fertilizer will be enough to do this whole field. We'll find out in a minute. I'll do one circuit around this field, and then I will just leave the hired help to carry on and do this one. The sprayer up there is going to work all the way up through, I hope, and do the short runs on that field right up to the very top edge. And then all we got to do is go back through and like tidy it up afterwards. Bring you around like that. Can I see it up there? I can't even... Oh, there he's right out over by the road, over there at the top. You can just make him out. Can't make him out now. Yeah, just see him. He's just gone over the brow of the hill, so you can't see him very well. I could go and get a bit more fertilizer because we've got plenty of money for it, and then we're definitely not going to run out. That would be a sensible move, actually, which is probably why I'm so reluctant to go and do it. Like, just the idea of doing the sensible thing, yeah, I don't like it. It doesn't feel right. It just, quite frankly, it just doesn't feel right. Doing the sensible thing. I don't know. It feels wrong on so many levels. I don't know why. Let's open you, lower you down, and we will fill you all the way back up to the brim with fertilizer like that. Lift you up. There we go. Bit like a brimful of Asher, but not quite. And we will take you out here. And off we go. So, these stripes. Wondering whether I should do anything about these stripes. They get more pronounced as the field goes on, as I was, like, desperate to, like, try and finish up that job, because it was rather tedious. And so I sort of pushed more and more for width on the sprayer when I was just guessing where I was going anyway. Judging by the wheel marks that I was leaving behind, and didn't really work out all that well for me. I mean, we got the job done. The job was eventually finished. It was all done as it should have been. But yeah, maybe we could have done a little bit better on that. Right, I'm going to bring you back over this way slightly like that, and then I'm just going to put hired help going. I'm going to leave you running, and we're going to skip back up to this one and take a look up here. So what have you done now? You've come all the way to the end of the field over here. You've done short work. So we're going to turn off the hired help there for a minute, and we're going to skip back over here. It's done a pretty good job here, really. I'm going to put that in there, like that. I love how you can get quite a good slice of it if you sort of have a good run up before you start your spraying. Does a good job of that. And I've got enough herbicide on board, I think, to finish out this little slice over here and to do the bottom run across the field. Don't know if I have quite enough to do the bottom run across the field. I'm hoping I do. It doesn't really matter. What we'll do is, I've definitely got enough to finish this piece up here. And then I can, as I head back down the bottom, if we run out along the bottom line, we can always just go and get a little tiny bit more. I think I've left a couple of weeds right on the outside edge, on the very, very top. And quite frankly, they're bugging me. Now, I was told the other day, I said I'm feeling a bit OCD this week. As last week or the week before. And someone said you can't feel a bit OCD at times. You either are or you're not. I'm going to disagree with that. Some people, they are OCD all the time. It's just a thing that they are with all the time. They can't do anything about it. But there are different levels of it. And sometimes it's not a severe OCD. It's not a, like, obsessive compulsive disorder. It's not a severe permanent thing at all times with everybody. It is with some people, but not with everybody. Sometimes you don't have that. Sometimes it is literally just sometimes you feel it and sometimes you don't. Me, sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. That's sort of a... It's, as far as I know, I could be wrong on this, but as far as I know, it's more linked to the fact that I am mildly autistic. And sort of what's called, I think it's called high-functioning autism, is basically where I've learned to cope with it in such a way that I can deal with people without needing extra help from outside sources, but I frequently need time away from anyone and everyone in order to sort of process my own head and deal with life in general. I thought that was just like everybody, and it was just like a normal thing, but it turns out I need a lot more process time than most people do, which is why I'm often seen as antisocial. So yeah, it's the OCD thing, as far as I know, is partly linked to that. There are certain things, like some weeks it's a lot more pronounced than other weeks. Some weeks that there's things that will just really irritate me unless everything is like working in the field here. Some weeks those stripes down there would really bug me and I would have to go through and do it. Other weeks they're not. This week it's not. This week I genuinely am not having much of an issue with that down there. I'm looking at it and I'm just seeing an overall pattern. If you look here, right, these stripes, I've got a pattern on here. I can see a stripy pattern on there. It's not horribly out of place, and because there is an actual pattern on it, that's kind of like overriding the rest of it. Like if the bits that were left behind didn't leave a pattern like that, probably be more of an issue for me. But yes, I can understand where some people would think, well, no, the whole OCD thing, because some people do have quite severe OCD, and it doesn't come and go. It doesn't, like, you don't have it worse some weeks than you do other weeks, and yeah, I completely get that. Some people, they are sort of, it's there all the time. It's not something you can switch on and off. It's not like I can switch it on and off. It's just that sometimes it's more than others. And it's definitely not about everything. Anybody that watches my World of Warcraft series will know that it's not about everything. Sometimes I will, like, when I'm doing any games, bag space and bank space tends to get messy. And then sometimes I will look at it and I cannot play the game until I've got it all sorted out. Other games, I need to have my bag space completely sorted at all times, no matter what I'm doing in it, because otherwise it just drives me completely balmy and insane, and I literally cannot cope with the thought of going another moment without it being perfectly lined up. I've recently started not replaying. I've recently started playing Baldur's Gate 2. I realised I've never actually played Baldur's Gate 2. I played Icewind Dale and I played the first Baldur's Gate, but Baldur's Gate 3 is going into early access at the end of this month, and it occurred to me I haven't played number 2, and then when I went and had a look at the reviews, Baldur's Gate 2 was widely considered far better than the original Baldur's Gate, and I loved that game, and I cannot believe I've gone this long without, one, realising how much better it was supposed to be than number 1, and also not getting round to playing it. So I went and purchased the Enhanced Edition, and I have started playing it recently. In that game, I am very much with the OCD-ness. Very much. Every character has got to have their bag laid out for them. Everything is in a set order. I spend more time sorting out inventory space on that game than I do doing just about anything else. But I'm absolutely loving that game. If you've got any interest in those types of RPG games, it's basically, if you've never played Baldur's Gate or Icewind Dale or Planescape Torment, any of those many years ago, it's basically the top-down sort of, it's top-down games. You manage a party of players. It's dungeons, and it's set in the Dungeons and Dragons universe. It uses Dungeons and Dragons rules. You've got this group of adventurers that you are responsible for, and you control each of the characters. You usually control them just as a group, but you can control each person individually as well, so you can assign them different roles in combat and stuff like that, and there's a big long storyline to follow through. You don't have to have played the first one in order to be able to play the second one at all in any way. It genuinely does not affect it in any way whatsoever. I've played the first one. It mentions what happened in the first one a little bit, but not really. What you do have the option to do, if you want to, is to take your save game file from Baldur's Gate 1 and import it into Baldur's Gate 2, and it will use your stats and so on for your character for number 2. Plus, also, there are some things that if you did it, some things that you did in the original Baldur's Gate that can affect choices and things that will happen in the second game. Overall, though, it does not hurt your gameplay experience in any way to have not played the first one, and it doesn't really benefit you massively to have played the first one. The game operates perfectly as a standalone. If you think that you are going to be interested in playing Baldur's Gate 3 when it is released and it comes out, it's on Steam in early access. I think it's September the 30th. If you think that you might be wanting to play that game and you might be wanting to get into doing that, I really do strongly recommend you pick up Baldur's Gate 2 as soon as you can and play that one through, just to get an idea of the type of game that you're looking at and get an idea for the feel of the universe that you will be stepping into. Absolutely 100% worth it. It really is. It's such an amazing game. Bear in mind, it was early 2000s that the game was made, so it's going to have older style graphics. You want to get the enhanced edition. I'm playing on a 4K screen. I'm using the enhanced edition. I've set the options so that the UI and everything fills the screen, and it adapts absolutely perfectly. Because a lot of old games, they don't work well on 1080 or a 4K screen, and there's a lot of compatibility issues. This one is compatible, it does, but you need the enhanced edition to be able to do it. Strongly recommend it. It is absolutely great fun. But anyway, that's a completely different sort of game than a farming simulator, and I am supposed to be playing a farming simulator at the moment, so we will carry on with this one. You are doing a beautiful job on there. We've got our fertilizer over this side is also doing a beautiful job. We've only got the triangle left. Have we got everything else taken care of on here? Little tiny bits up there. We may go around and get those, I think. And then we've got our stripes. I'm so tempted to leave the stripes. I don't know why. I just want to leave. Although if you look at it on the map, it's all right. But when you look at it here, it looks messy, and I want to go and do something about it. I'll see what it's like after we finish doing the spraying in the big field over there, because he's still got a fair bit to go on that one. So we'll let that tractor decide up there what's going to happen with that. I'm going to manually finish this out. This bit down here like this. If I spin around like that, that'll take out that little bit. And then, where have we got? I got a little tiny bit up there and a couple over there. And there is a tiny bit way down over that side as well that we may go for. And that's this field going to be done. There's everything up there. There's the little spot right there. I'm going to take you out like that. And then we got 2 spots over here. Go and take them out. But I've run out of time for today's episode anyway. So if you have enjoyed this episode, then please hit down below and give us a like. And if you really enjoyed it, then please tell your friends all about me. Get them to come and watch as well. That would be awesome. In tomorrow's episode, I'm thinking, well, if we need that spraying. The spraying's got to be finished. We've got to get that all done. And then once that is all, I'm still missing some bits here. I don't even know where they are. I thought I picked them all up. Looking on the map here. For some reason... Oh, it's because I missed the bits on the first pass. That's why. Yeah. Right, but anyway. Yeah, we get the spraying done, and then after that we should be ready to start fast-forwarding towards our next harvest. We just obviously got to keep our animals going while we're doing it. But anyway... Until next time, thank you very much for watching. This is Frithgar. Goodbye, and see you later.